Oh, well, bless my soul, what's wrong with me? I'm itching like a cat on a fuzzy tree. My friends say I'm acting wild as a bug. I'm in love. I'm all shook up on. Ooh, yeah.
Shaky and my knees are weak. Can't seem to stand on my own 2 feet. What do you think when you have such luck? I'm in love.
I'm all shook up on.
The play All Shook Up is a modernized adaptation of William Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, and honestly the best way to describe it is Twelfth Night, Footloose, Grease, and Elvis all get together and form this magical musical. It's high comedy, it's very feel good, 50s, and I chose it because I wanted to do something really fun. I like the fact that it breaks the fourth wall, you interact with the audience, people love the music, and I just thought it'd be an excellent choice for our community. I feel as if being a director and making awesome shows is both a gift and a curse, because when it's great, people think, poof, it just happened. They really don't understand the work that it requires. They don't understand the process. They don't understand all that takes place before it goes up and looks so good. So it's truly a gift and a curse in the sense that, like, they have no clue what it takes, and it's up to us to make it look that easy, but people usually don't understand the process.
Power of my love.
But lay off of my blue heat.
Okay, y'all ready? Yeah. We picked the show. There's 1 month of musical rehearsals with Miss Bruno. Once musical rehearsal is over, we start working on blocking. We start working on characterization. We make prop lists. We make a set list. Then we start just running the show. I may pick certain days to do certain acts or certain music numbers, or we do choreography. And from then on out, we were just running the show. And it's seriously like fine-tuning it, analyzing every little thing. I go to different spots of the theater to make sure people can see and such. Have them open up, polish their blocking. Then we implement the technical aspects. Then it goes up and it'll strike.
My character was Chad. He's an interesting character. Really kind of, I don't want to say loose cannon, but he's kind of his own person.
Considering I had basically 2 characters, the first one, Natalie, was definitely more reserved. Ed was definitely more out there, and was kind of everything Natalie wanted to be, but couldn't be when she was herself.
Dennis is a little odd, quirky guy. He's the nerd of the town, but he's just a cute little fun boy.
I played the character of Jim Holler, middle-aged man, father of Natalie Holler.
But there's 2 things. The first thing is, I think that God will seriously always give me the right kids. You know, for the right show, the right kids, the right time. I believe that that's something that He ensures for me, and I'm very grateful. The second thing is, I don't know, they were just perfect for it. I know that there have been, I mean, even now there are teachers, drama teachers, who seniors have to have the lead. I don't believe in that. If you're talented, if you're professional, if you're focused, you're gonna get the role you deserve. You don't have to wait. That's not fair. We had freshman principals this year. We had upperclassmen principals who have never been in a musical before. So it's who earns it with me. And I think that's fair. Table work we do probably the first week. That's the first thing we do once rehearsal starts. We all sit down together. We read the play. I analyze the play with the kids. And it's a few things. Firstly, I've already read it a few times by myself, but to actually hear the kids read it for the first time, I get all these new choices. Like I hear all these different things. They just keep popping up in my mind. And they get excited about it. And then we analyze the play. They start to look at their characters differently. They start to form opinions about their characters. So it's just laying the foundation for the process, starting them off on the right foot, where I want them to be. I let them know where I want them to go, the concept. What I want you all to know is it's very important for us to have fun with this. I'm searching for that energy, conceptual or, no, don't worry about that. It was very deep with Jekyll and Hyde and West Side, but this is really all about like having fun. I want your parents and family and friends to feel like they were at a concert and they just had such a good time, and it was outstanding theater. Asking them questions, talking to them, you're in love, you're searching for the answers. Help me, random audience member. They're like, oh, what do I do? But I'm having fun. I want all of that. It's like, I want to change it up. I just want it to be like crazy fun. So that's very important to me.
For all of January, we just did music rehearsals, and I would do rehearsals with the entire cast on the full ensemble songs, and then we would also have rehearsals with just the leads so they could learn their solo songs. And then towards the end of January, we tried to put it all together so we could run the entire music for the whole show, and they tried to memorize and everything. And then Miss Cook takes over and starts putting the acting with the music. And then as it gets closer, we bring the pit in and we start rehearsing with the pit and the songs, and that's when it really starts to come together. This music was a lot of fun. I think people could really move and groove to it. Yeah. So I think people just really enjoyed that and took that with them.
Okay, so I was really, really nervous. I don't even sing in front of my mom. So singing in front of a big audience was very frightening for me. But Miss Bruna really helped me, and a lot of other people in chorus helped me. So that was really nice of them. Otherwise, I probably would have sounded like a dying hippopotamus on stage, and that wouldn't have been as good of a show.
The biggest difficulty I encountered was the singing, because since I am a bass, like a very low bass, and then having to adjust to a tenor belt roll was very difficult. It was really hard for me, one, to lose my vibrato, and I had to work with trying to sing more straight-toned and more of a belty, bright tone, and it was really hard for me to adjust because I'm just not used to singing that. I'm used to singing classically.
And I thought I could handle it, but until I saw the number of songs that Chad would have to sing, I started to worry. So I started working with Miss Bruno on my songs, and I also got a vocal coach. And it was really nerve-wracking. What I lacked most, and what I've learned, what I lacked most was not my ability to sing. It was more of the confidence. But as the musical approached closer and people started acknowledging my hard work and the improvements in my voice, I started to gain more confidence. And I think that's at the end of the day what allowed me to progress so much in the ways of singing. Because had you heard me before this production, I was nowhere near where I was at the end. And so I think confidence was my biggest issue, and I overcame.
For a little while, I was really nervous for the music, not personally necessarily, but as a whole, because the ensemble wasn't always on with the music. They didn't really know it all, and that was kind of nerve-wracking, and it frustrated me a little bit, but I knew that it would work out in the end. Some of the notes were a little high for me. So you got a senior falsetto, but that was, I think it worked pretty well because we were all able to kind of counteract each other in weaknesses and strengths. So I think it all just kind of came together.
Well, this year we had a really good mix. We had a lot of strong singers and some people who didn't have as big of a background. I try to always place in music rehearsals in January, place people with a strong music background next to people without it, so they can kind of hear that person and go along with them. But I think they catch on pretty easily, and really just the more they are immersed in it, the better you get at it, because everyone has a musical ear. It's just, it might not be used as much, so you think you're bad, but the more and more you use it, you get better at it.
There must be lights burning brighter somewhere. Got to be birds flying higher in the sky. Won't me if I can dream of a better land where all my brothers work hand in hand. Tell me why, oh why won't that dream come true? Oh, why?
There must be peace and understanding sometime.
Strong winds of promise that can blow away the doubt and fear. If I can dream of a warmer sun where hope is shining on everyone, tell me why, oh why won't that sun appear?
We're lost in a cloud.
We're trapped in a world that's troubled with pain. But as long as a man has the strength to dream, everything is soar and
But after living with it for many months, I can say now that I really enjoyed the music for the musical. It really grew on me, and I think the reason it grew on me because Elvis wasn't singing it and the students were, so I enjoyed that.
That's my favorite part, just enjoying them and watching the growth from beginning to end. It's the most rewarding part of the process. Today is day one of blocking. Yesterday we spent the day doing exercises, team building, but today we broke down the set. The actors were able to make a sketch in their book, exactly how the set would look. I shared my vision with them, and today we're gonna start blocking. We're getting it popping too. Blocking is just your movements on stage, and I actually take my script. First, I meet with the technical director. We talk about the set, what we want, what my vision is. We come together.
Well, the job is basically is to be the liaison between the director and the technical side of the show. Because I'm here and because I have stuff already built. I plan the set around what I have built, and if I can utilize it in any way, shape, or form. The inspiration for this was the movability. We have lots of places to go, and we wanted it to look 50s and funky and Elvis Presley, all that, which is very cool.
And then I take my script and I draw out a mini set. And I mean, it's literally like football plays with little X's and arrows. And some days it's like that where it's absolutely mapped out. And then some scenes I like to just work through them and see what happens naturally. And we keep things and we change things. So it's a little bit of both. Sometimes I really just enjoy living in the moment and seeing and, you know, watching what happens with the actors.
The museum is open.
Don't you move or I will hit you.
I just wish we had a way to blow some Beyonce fans.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome.
I just wish we could have.
What if the statue?
During rehearsal, it's just notes. I'm just watching it, you know, it's like taking a fine-tooth comb and combing hair and getting all the kinks out and knots. Like I'm just watching the play, just looking. Okay, and then she's gonna push. Let's just walk through it. What's your line? Thank you for writing it down. I see a few of you doing that. Thank you. Okay. I don't want you to stop and talk. I literally want you.
He is a magnet, and you are being pulled.
Right, exactly. So you stand here. You stand here. As you're talking to Lorraine, oh shabby. You know, like. Okay, so
like, get out of my way, there's a hot guy.
Right in between them.
Okay, I just have too much time.
I try to add the character into the blocking because sometimes it can look stiff and definitely blocked, but if you add your own style or your own little bits to it, it becomes your character actually. They want to move to that spot or they want to slap the person in the face, which they often do.
Sometimes I'm really bad at taking direction. If I feel really strongly about something, I mentioned Miss Cook is very lenient about letting you make choices, but if she's firm in something, and she'll make you do it. Sometimes if I don't agree with that, I won't always listen.
I try very hard to think about what I'm saying before I say it. I'm a teacher first, you know. It's very difficult when you're in that space with the kids and you want to yell and you want to scream. And I do. Bailey, I'm going to kick you. Please come on earlier than that and run. Then why are you laughing? You all are not making any choices, and I'm trying really, really hard to not snap. Don't do it! But I try very hard to give them praise. I think they've grown to understand that when I do compliment them, I mean it. When I do tell them they're great, it's not just because they were there. It's because they did an excellent job, so they strive towards that. Because I'm very passionate about my vision. I want it to play out on stage just like I see it in my mind. And the kids know that. So, yeah. All by myself. I was really unhappy with how Heartbreak Hotel was going. I did not feel Heartbreak Hotel. I wasn't pleased. They weren't feeling Heartbreak Hotel. It was a presentation of a song, and I hated it. And All by Myself was a song that I felt so much. I would sing it, and my mother would be like, "Turn that off. Don't sing that sad song." And I wanted the kids to listen to it and just recognize the emotion that she had. And then they had to learn and sing it. Because I wanted them to feel it. I wanted them to feel it. That was a great moment. I love when they work together.
I loved that day because we were all just standing in the parking lot, singing it, jamming out to it, and getting it. And it felt like a real cast bonding day, and everybody was working towards the common goal of not having to run and sing together. And so it felt, that was a special day.
That to me is so amazing when they go, okay, we're gonna show her, we're gonna prove to her, we're gonna do this. And when they pull together like that, I'm like, look at how unstoppable you are.
Yeah.
You can do anything.
I love that it was completely different than what I've ever done. I've never had something extreme and flamboyantly rambunctious like Dennis.
Hey, Chad! I just thought of a real fun guy thing to do. Let's go swimming!
What? Great idea, I need to cool off.
It was weird for Dennis. I instantly knew what I wanted to do. So I feel like that helped. I felt like how his life must be, how hard it must be. And so I channeled into that.
I did a lot of hip thrusts and a lot of just kind of like noodle-y movements because that was kind of part of the humor that I wanted to put into the character. I also kind of thought about the way that I would feel if a rough and tumble kind of guy fell in love with my younger sister. So I kind of put some of that like, personal experience in. From Yolanda, she kind of brought out the soul in me, I guess, because I like to watch some Elvis videos because he was very physical. Garrett McPherson, he did a lot of that. So,
but no, Chad is just Chad's a good-hearted person who's just trying to make the world a better place. Things I would watch old 50s movies, clips of James Dean or the Fonz, and drew a lot of inspiration from lots of images, and especially Elvis too, trying to kind of combine them all into one character.
Ed was a lot more fun to get into, and I was really excited when we got to Ed's part, but Natalie was definitely a challenge. There was a lot more going into the character than I'd originally thought, and so that was really exciting for me.
So where am I? Never mind, where are you? Who are you?
Why don't you know the Ed?
Ed? You know Mr. Roman Rasmussen singing my song in love with my lady?
I actually looked up things about motorcycles at first because I knew nothing about motorcycles, and Natalie's a motorcycle mechanic, so that was kind of awkward. But other than that, I watched a lot of guys and practiced being a guy at some points, which was pretty awkward when people would walk in on me practicing that.
They've grown tremendously. All of them. I would say bringing in all of the technical elements. That's the hardest part of the rehearsal process. But once we start bringing in tech, costumes, lighting, sound, it slowly gets out of my control. So I think that's the hardest process for me, because then there are a million questions. The tech director wants to know about this, and I'm being pulled in different directions.
Like we were just working on tech, and then somehow it got roped into this special tech meeting. I think we just walked into the classroom, and Miss Cook is like, and then our costume designers, and I guess we were the only people right there.
And so at first we were like, oh my god, it's got a title! And then we like found out we had people and we were like, oh my god.
And this is like a month before the show. So.
Here we have like a weird role for it because really a stage manager calls the show and does what I basically did. And like if you take Emily out of the equation, you basically are the right hand of the director. You like if they need props, you set up a prop list and you get them that.
Ishmael, I could have sent you for my food, and it would have been here by now.
So like Miss Cook and Miss Hood are on like the bridge between the two.
Where's Jake? Spin by the end.
And you just keep the actors like on point. And you're also the connection between the director and the rest of the actors. You get out the schedules and like any information they need.
It helps if you know how to build. It helps if you know something about, say, sound equipment or light equipment. But if you don't, it helps if you are willing to put the effort in to learn. It takes a willingness and a dedication to the show and to theater.
We talked it over first. We talked to Ms. Cook, and then we came up with this. And then we chose the fabrics that we wanted.
And we went on several
thought.
adventures to find
Oh my gosh, so crazy. We went to Goodwill a lot for the costumes.
a lot of them, Goodwill.
And then from then on, it was like hemming and like adding stuff.
On Triana's dress, we just took a bunch of stuff and like sewed it all.
Oh, that was her wedding dress, yeah.
We
got
kept
a
having
bunch
to
of
repair it,
feathers.
but it looked so good.
Because I mean, how can you like, you can't sew it on the
boa,
sewing
like,
machine.
how do you sew a boa?
You don't, so you can hand sew it, but you can't see anything because of all the feathers.
So you're like,
Honestly, I didn't really know what I was getting into when I like agreed to be. But then when I got into the actual process, I realized there's a lot more to it. So I didn't really prepare because I didn't really realize what I was fully getting into.
Yeah. Making sure the kids are all here and everything gets done. That's the most, and gets done in time. It always seems to be a problem of making sure that we have enough time.
I just wish we had more time to do it. More time.
Yeah. That would have been nice. Because at first, sorry, Ms. Cook told us that she wanted us to make all of them. And at first we were like, yes,
Every
we
single
can do
costume.
this. And then even my dad, he was like, you don't even know how to make a sleeve, Brie. And I was like, shut up, I can do
Sleeves
it.
take a week.
And it took us about 1 week to make a skirt. And then from that, we only had 2 weeks left. So we were here, yeah.
So there was a bit of a learning curve to that.
For him, I knew.
Well, actually, they came through in a way I didn't, not that I didn't expect, but that I was definitely pleasantly surprised with. They really worked very hard. Brie had a lot of her own ideas that she brought to the table. So after, the only thing that I really was, I guess, instrumental in was when they suddenly hit a wall, I could solve the problem for them. And we could discuss it with Ms. Cook, and the problem could get solved.
I love Miss Hood. Miss Hood
Yes.
is wonderful.
She's great, but
She was being pulled in like 35 different directions.
and then it was just horrible to like do the skirt and then her come in and be like, no, you're doing it all wrong, and be like, Miss Hood, go away.
And also, it's funny because I was so mad at myself because in the end, I really helped. Emily was such a big help to me in the end, but at the beginning, it was kind of mostly me, and she helped me when I needed her. But by the end of it, we were basically like working hand in hand. So I would have worked more with her at the beginning, like as us working together, not so much her working as like my assistant.
You're just as important as the actors, like.
In some ways, I'm thankful for this experience because it's like it made me realize how much actually goes in that I didn't even realize. Like I thought I knew a lot about it, and I knew some, but I didn't realize nearly what was required.
Because as an actor, you're like, oh, we appreciate you, but
you don't. It's like, not until you do it. But now we have, and
we can honestly tell them that we appreciate them.
Tech Week is the week that we implement all the technical aspects. It's very long. It's very structured.
Okay, there's a misunderstanding sometimes. There's usually 2 tech weeks. The first tech week is just tech week. That's where they're just starting to figure out lights, they're getting us mic'd, we're starting to actually work with all the technical stuff.
It's from 2:30 until we have dinner, and it's when we really start to build the show and everything comes together. We work out the transitions, we work out the lighting. We were lucky enough that we didn't have sound effects this time, but it's literally putting all of those elements together.
The second tech week is Hell Week.
The kids here, they call it Hell Week, and I think it's just because
things start going wrong.
They're tired and they're exhausted.
Everybody's panicking because they realize it's the week before the show.
And we're working so very hard. But to me, it's the best week. You know, it's fun. Because it's finally coming together.
Scarring.
And as a director, it's when I finally have to allow the show to be the show. At this point, I'm not directing you any further. This is where we are, and I just have to let it happen.
But this year, surprisingly, we started with mics a month before the show, so that was a lot of stress taking off the tech crew and the actors.
Tech wasn't killing us. It was cooperating.
Yeah.
And the people who were working it were handling things pretty well. Whenever a crisis arose, they were fixing it, solving the problem.
Mr. Nick and I are cool. We're good friends, and he's a really good band director. So it's always amazing. The band kids can come in and they just start playing the music. You're like, oh, that's how it's supposed to sound. They love playing for the musical, and they love seeing their peers on stage and being a part of the experience.
I wanted to touch his hair.
I didn't really notice him until I looked over and there was this big red thing walking. And then I was like, oh look, Elvis.
I thought it was really weird. Garrett, his first year in Drama 1, I believe he did an Elvis impersonation. And I was like, how awesome would it be to have him walk around and just get the buzz going. And also, this was the first year that we were doing a show directly after spring break. And this was the first year that we did a show on a day where there wasn't any school. So I was like, how are we going to create hoopla about the show? So I just tried to do something different.
I gotta tell you, I'm a little nervous. I've been anticipating this for a while.
I'm feeling great and I'm so excited because it's just so much fun to be in the play.
The kids made me put Abigail in the play. They were like, Miss Cook, she knows the moves. Look at her, she knows the songs. Do it. And I'm glad I did because she loved it. She said I was the best mom ever. Yeah, the kids, they talked me into it and I'm glad they did.
Everybody wholesale block, dead in the jailhouse rock. Well, since my baby left me, I couldn't touch my hair, but until I got.
I really like how they interacted with the audience and everything.
It was awesome. I loved it.
Excellent. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
It was,
I love
yeah.
Showcase. I really do, and I feel like they did a really good job.
It's so rewarding to me when parents come up and they're like, I did not think this high school show was gonna be this good. I couldn't believe they were doing that. I want them to hear that. I want them to know that they put that on and they did an amazing job.
This show would probably be my perfect process. She is great. She's phenomenal, and I'm not only saying that because she's gonna hear this, but no. I've worked with directors before, but she's really one that it's been a new experience. It's been a great process working with her, and I'm really gonna miss her.
It's interesting because she gets down to business, but she knows how to be friends with the actors and how to make everybody feel comfortable. Miss Cook just kind of taught me that once you're on stage, you have to throw yourself away and realize that you're there for the audience and you're not there to tell your story, you're there to tell the story. So
I'm really proud of that, and I'm really excited that she is able to see who I am and the abilities that I have. I think we've got a pretty good relationship. A lot of times you gotta just kind of let it go. Like, you can't really be too critical of yourself, and you can't be too critical of others. You just gotta enjoy everything you do, you know?
Working with Miss Cook is a lot of fun because she, you know, no matter how close you are, she'll still be very, very strict and critique everything that you do. And having that close relationship with the director, I feel, is really important because it's just essential in having a great show. And through this process, she taught me, and it was almost an indirect thing. Like we never really talked about it because she never really saw the struggle, because she's just indirectly encouraged me with the confidence of being able to do this type of crazy role, because it is uncomfortable at first, but she helped me a lot with gaining my confidence.
They're my kids. I tell them at the beginning of the process, I now love you because you're a part of this. And I'm invested in them. I try to make the process tough yet enjoyable, so when they come out at the end, they love each other, they have all these fantastic memories, and they just last a lifetime. I hope they're building bonds that last a
I'm the behind the scenes director. I do what I want. I watch what I want. If I don't want to record you, I don't, okay? Okay? Because this is my production. I'm telling this cook what to do. I'm telling her to act for me. Act as a director, okay? So, forget the haters. Bye. Get that camera on my face.